Building genuine connections is actually really hard, especially on dating apps. I mean, how do you even go about doing that? Well, on today's episode, we're going to talk about how to build genuine connections on dating apps and make these interactions feel a little bit more authentic and a little bit more real. So whether you are a seasoned pro or you are someone who's completely new to this modern way of dating, this episode is going to be for you. And don't worry, I'm going to leave you with some practical tips and best practices that's going to help you have a deeper level of connection. And if you don't already know, this is Touché back with another episode of Date Theory. So let's get right into it. First things first, not all apps are created equally. What I mean by that is certain apps, they have specific uses. Listen, if you want a quick hookup, you know which apps to go to. And that's all right. It's all about understanding what type of connection you're looking for and where you want to find that. The apps that I like to use that is going to give you a little bit more than that surface level interaction is Hinge, Bumble, and Coffee Meets Bagels. Those are like 3 good apps when it comes to actually having a conversation with someone that's going to lead to something that's not just about, hey, let's go out for a drink and hook up. Now, picking the right app is going to be very crucial in this process of developing a genuine connection. So for today's episode, I'm actually going to use Hinge as our baseline app. Now that you've picked the app that's going to work for you, let's talk about the next most important thing. Next up is creating that authentic profile. Authenticity is what's going to make everything feel more genuine. I want you to think of your profile as your first impression. We all know you don't get a second chance at a first impression. So we really have to put our energy and effort into creating something that really represents us. But don't worry, I got a few tips from my extensive research of online dating that's gonna help you present your most authentic self. So the first one, and one of the most important parts, is picking high quality photos that do represent your personality and who you are. I can't tell you how many times I've actually looked at someone's profile, and based off of the pictures that they post, I already have a feel for the type of person I'm gonna get. And you wanna choose photos that is gonna best genuinely represent you. So what I recommend is actually picking a couple of mixed shots. You don't wanna just give all no look photos. You wanna mix things up a little bit, kind of include some candid photos, pictures that highlight your interests. Like if you see here on my first photo that I put up, it's the one that probably has done the best for me on dating apps and the one that gets the most likes. As you can see, it showcases my physique, eye contact, a little bit of style, because you see that with the bandana, and also a choice of the fit. Very simple, but very much me. You can also see my tattoos in here. I always like to put that as like my first one that you can see on my dating profile, because hey, you need to know what you're getting, the full frame of what you're getting. I hate going on a woman's profile and they only have like headshots and you can't see the rest of their body. And then, like I said, you got to mix it up a little bit, right? You see this next photo that I have here is actually from a wedding that I went to in Italy, and it shows that I am smiling, having a great time, and I have a good backdrop with a mix of colors, right? Because you also want to give off that I could be your +1 type of vibe. And one of the most important things, guys and ladies, you need to make sure that you do showcase that smile in photos. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm gonna possibly go on a date with a serial killer. So I need to know that you have some type of humor and you have a nice smile. Like I said, you also want to add in some of your interests, right? I like to put my YouTube profile pic so that way you can kind of know what I'm into. You see the microphone there, the sideways look with the backdrop and the Date Theory logo. That just lets you know this guy's a content creator. And I don't know about you, I like to showcase some style. I have 2 photos here with bucket hats just to let you know I like to mix it up in the video of my content. That way you know a little bit about me, how I speak, and what I do. It's nothing like adding your voice into your profile as well. And that's the thing I love about Hinge, is that you can add voice recordings or you can also upload videos. I can't tell you how many times that I have liked someone's profile, and when I got to talk to her, the voice I just didn't want it. I just couldn't imagine myself being on a date hearing that voice the whole time. I know that may seem a little shallow, but guess what? That's me. I don't care. The next thing is crafting a genuine bio. Now, if you're not using an app like Tinder where you actually have to just put your bio there after your pictures, and you're using an app like Hinge, they kind of use a better method. Instead of just putting a bio that gives you like a short summary or synopsis of who you are, you can showcase your personality, your hobby, and your interests in these prompts. And that's one thing that I really love about Hinge because, hey, I want to know the things that you're into and how witty or maybe how basic you can be. So as you can see here, they have some great prompts that you can choose from. So this is one that I'll pick for the video. The way to win me over is, and you want to make sure that you say something that is going to, align with what you're saying and maybe showcase some of your personality. So I'll write something like, okay, no, definitely, no, definitely not that. I mean, that's one of the ways, but hey, telling me a great joke is a great way to win me over. I love a great joke. And if a woman is funny, that is a huge win for us guys. I know we actually love women who are funny and they get jokes. I mean, it's another great way of us bonding together. You also want to make sure that you're showcasing some of your interests and some of your hobbies through these prompts. So like, I'll pick one here. Let's give a never have I ever. See, questions like this give you an opportunity to let someone know, think something that you haven't done and why. And that in itself is a great open-ended question. So I'll put never have I ever been skydiving. Okay, hold on, let me spell correctly. Been skydiving, terrified. I'll put terrified because I am terrified of heights, but wow, what's with this spell check? Terrified of heights, still can't spell heights, but willing to try. And then we'll give the old school wink. Hit done there. Now, a great gem that I like to put when building these prompts, and feel free to actually use this. I always like to leave a great question that someone can answer. This is probably one of my favorite prompts that Hinge has, is the one thing I'd love to know about you is, and my answer would be, what would your best friend say separates you from everyone else? See, I love this question because this forces the other person to actually think inward on what their best friend would say, or even ask this question to their best friend to actually get that answer. That starts a conversation like, ooh, who asked you that? Oh, I love that question. He seems interesting. Now that we are done crafting our bios, our prompts, giving people a little bit of insight on who we are and who they're going to meet, the next step is initiating conversation. Now, I know this can be a little nerve-wracking for a lot of people. Making the first move, asking a question, not wanting to sound stupid, wanting to be cool. I get it. Everyone wants to do it. Now, I am a huge proponent. Let me tell you that men should always make the first move because, hey, we are hunters. This is what we do. We go after what we want. So I'm big on that. And these well-crafted bios that we just made is going to help everyone feel a little bit more at ease when they talk to us, right? So here's some tips that you can use for initiating the conversation, right? And some things that you may want to avoid. When it comes to that icebreaker, starting a conversation, you want to kind of avoid the, hey, what's up? What you doing? Open liners say a lot about a person. And I can't tell you that there isn't many times that I've ever in my life said, hey, what's up to someone on a dating app. It doesn't make any sense to me. So here's something that I'll definitely tell you should do. When you're looking at someone's bio and you're reading their profiles, you should probably look into what they're saying and then just comment off of that and use that as like your open liner or your icebreaker. Because making a reference to something that you see shows a genuine interest, and that's going to make the other person feel like, oh wow, they actually read my bio. They took time and didn't just look at my ass. I actually really like that. Now that we've broken the ice and we started this conversation, one thing that I want you to avoid is just asking closed questions like, what you doing? We want to ask open-ended questions. Now, if you don't know what that looks like, here's an example. So if you look at someone's profile and you notice they say something about hiking, you could say, oh wow, I see that you like hiking. Tell me, what's one of your favorite trails? See what that does there? One, this shows that you actually read someone's profile. Two, this opens up the conversation a little bit. Now they're gonna go ahead and tell you about their favorite trail, and you can spark a conversation just stemming from that. Open-ended questions can be very powerful in this way. Now that we are sharing stories and exchanging conversation, remember, building a genuine connection, it does take time. So just be respectful of someone's time and their space. After we have built that conversation, we're flowing via text on our app. The next thing to do is moving it beyond text. And if you're anyone like me, I like to either be on the phone or actually be on FaceTime. Preferably FaceTime because I do like to look at myself and them too. But definitely move the conversation from texting to now talking in whatever comfortable format that actually works for you, because that's where your real chemistry is going to start to build. You know, it's nothing like telling a joke via text and they just don't get it, because you have to either know the reference, make a voice, or say it in a certain way that makes sense to the joke. And on top of that, having a video call with someone eliminates the worry of them catfishing you, or they don't look exactly like the pictures, because believe me, I've been there and it sucks when someone doesn't look like how they look like in their photos. It's like, what do you do at that point? I've actually walked out on dates in less than 10 minutes when someone doesn't look exactly how they portray themselves. Don't care. Don't give me false advertisement. Finally, down to the last section in building this genuine connection on dating apps. What you got to do is start being a little bit vulnerable. I know that's going to be a little triggering. Vulnerability. Who wants to be vulnerable, right? Who wants to start telling you stories where you may not look as cool? I know, I get it. It's not as easy, but hey, when you're trying to build an authentic connection, you have to show the other person who you really are. So some ways to actually do this is actually sharing your feelings. Talk about your emotions. Talk about a story that lets the other person know how you felt in that situation, what you didn't like and what you did. This can exhibit your principles, your morals, and see if they actually align with the other person. Vulnerability can deepen your bond with the person that you're trying to talk to. Also, be honest about your intentions. There's one thing that I've realized the most on dating, and the feedback that I've gotten from women, is how men aren't honest with their intentions and they kind of hide what they really want. Now, fellas, I want y'all to listen up real quick. I want you to really listen up. Put your headphones up and put your phone down and just listen. If you tell a woman directly up front what you want, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get what you want. Believe me, it's nothing like being straight up with a woman and giving her the opportunity to make a choice. When you lie, you rob them of that opportunity. And that's the shit that they hate. And that's the same shit that causes and continues this full circle of toxic dating, is because everything is filled on lies. So don't do that to each other. Clearly communicate what you want and how you feel, and be okay whatever the result is. And mostly respect someone's boundaries. Whatever they say to what you want, respect their boundaries. If what you are saying doesn't align with them, respect it. It's all right. Move on. And there you have it. These are some practical tips on helping you build that genuine connection on dating apps. Listen, I know that it's not the easiest thing to do. I mean, trying to get to know someone through a screen versus in person is tough. It's difficult. It's not the most natural thing, but these tips can definitely help. And if you found any of these tips helpful and you've gotten any value from this video, please remember, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I got a lot more gems and great content coming your way. I'm glad that y'all tuned in with the video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with me again. You already know where you at. Touché back here on Date Theory. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.